How are we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here. Welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk a little bit about some builds for Alchemy. Alchemy is a really hot topic of discussion at the moment. Everybody's looking at deciding, should I use it on my old army? Should I main an alchemist? Should I go potions, flasks, the Thaumaturgy route, whatever? So I'm going to talk about the different routes you can take in a little bit of detail today. And if this video is popular, I might expand this to some of the other professions as well. I'm going to try my best over the next few days to at least get a written version of some basic builds in my guide. I'm going to try and get that done. It's much easier and quicker to make written versions, so I should hopefully have that done by the launch of the expansion, but video versions of these should come in the next few days. A link to my guide is down in the description if you wish. This dog is alive, just to clarify. Go back to sleep, Apple. Anyway, let's jump into the first build, shall we? So the first one we're going to look at is we're going to look at Alchemy. A common pattern that you'll see through all of these is it's going to be a requirement to have a full bar of skill and all of your profession tools at blue rarity. This is worth a total of 140 skill, and there's no cutting corners in the wall within. You are absolutely going to need this every single time. But what I'm going to try and do is highlight a build, show you where to spend your spec points that will give you the ability to guarantee something at top quality without the use of concentration. That is when you can start industrializing and start mass producing and start selling it to everybody, and you can really start to see some good gold coming your way. So for Alchemy, I think Flasks is an absolutely fantastic candidate for this, but it's expensive. 260 spec points in total. 265, sorry. I'll try and put some notes or annotations up on the screen for these. But this will mean that you will be able to guarantee flasks at top quality. Obviously, you're going to need to do a little bit of maths because it's not easy to get all the tools on the beta, unfortunately. But if there was 40 points up here, add 40 on top of 716, you've got 756, which means, hey presto, boom, fantastic. We're guaranteeing quality 3. You're always going to need top quality materials to guarantee it top quality as well. Bear that in mind when it comes to pricing. But that's tomorrow's problem. You'll figure that out later. Where are we going to spend our points, though? We're going to spend our points, firstly, in Fantastic Flasks. Surprise, surprise. 30 points in Fantastic Flasks is going to get you going. And my recommendation is to leave it there to begin with. And I'll talk about why in a second. We're then going to head over to Alchemical Mastery. And your next spot is going to be 50 points in Alchemical Mastery. This is just a fantastic node for all alchemists. Almost whatever you're doing, this is absolutely wonderful. So that's our first 80 points. Then you are going to slowly and methodically fill each one of these uncommon herb nodes out. If your ultimate goal is to craft the big boy flask, the Flask of Alchemical Chaos, you can see it uses all 4 of these uncommon herbs, and you are going to need to be an absolute pro in using all of them to be able to get to that point of guaranteed. What you might want to do on your journey, though, is pick a slightly smaller flask, maybe one that benefits you personally. Something such as the, the crit one, the mastery one, well, pick one, and then look at the 2 herbs that those use and choose to put your points into those 2 herbs first. So you want to kind of fill these out in order, but the order you fill them out, you will unlock some of the other flasks at guaranteed quality first, but eventually, Flask of Alchemical Chaos, this is going to be big money. And then finally, once you've put all your points in here, this is going to take some time, but finally you can go back into Fantastic Flasks and put some points in bulk production to improve your multi-craft and resourcefulness stats. You should already have some reasonable stats for those from your profession tools anyway, but of course every little helps, and the extra resourcefulness and extra multi-craft will help with your profits on those also. So you'd put a final 25 points in here. This entire build is 265 skill points needed. It's probably one of the most expensive ones in the game and is probably going to take you a couple of months to do, but is likely to be one of the most rewarding, especially if you can get there early and do it first. So, on to the next build. Go. Right, so we've had a little bit of a look at flasks. Time to have a little bit of a look at the potion side of alchemy. For all intensive purposes, it's very, very similar. Instead of using the fantastic flask tree, we're going to use the potent potion tree. Our first little adventure is going to be to put 30 points into potent potions. Then we're going to head over to the Alchemical Mastery tree and put 50 points in Alchemical Mastery, and then shortly followed by 40 points in Mycobloom Lore. This is going to be a grand total of 120 points to begin with. It does get significantly more expensive from here on out, but that 120 points is your first milestone. This is going to mean that you can now craft your healing potions, your Algari healing potions, at guaranteed quality 3. This should probably be your first thing that you try and achieve if you're going the potion route. It's a very simple recipe. Only uses the vials, only uses the Mycobloom. If I had my profession tools up here, that would be worth 40 points to me, which is a guaranteed. You absolutely must have those, by the way. You've got to get your profession tools and accessories up here for 40 points. It would push us just past the 515 limit to guarantee our healing potions. Where do we go from there, though? Well, we are going to methodically fill out the rest of this tree. These remaining 4 nodes we're going to fill out next. And there's also careful consideration for when you put some points in bulk production as well. Bulk production is going to help your multi-craft, and it's going to help your resourcefulness. But if you are looking to be one of the first crafters out there to be able to guarantee the potions at quality 3, you may be best off leaving this till last, as you need all the skill points you can get. Let's say, for example, we wanted to look at making, I don't know, something like the Tempered Potion. I suspect this could be potentially quite useful to some players. You'd probably look at the fact that this uses Lure Drop and this uses a Ratha's Spear, and we'd try and, you know, max those out next. So you've spent 120 points. Your next 80 points would be in Lure Drop and a Ratha's Spear. Lure Drop. Yeah, quickly I can click 40 times. Put points in Lure Drop. Put points in a Ratha's Spear. For reference, Alchemy is going to get somewhere in the region of 10 to 15 knowledge points a week after you've sort of harvested all the first time craft stuff. So even this is going to take you some time to do, especially if you look to fill out the other 2 as well. But you would now see your Tempered Potion. You're at 337. If you had 40 up here, that would be 377. You would now be guaranteeing this at quality 3 as well. You would continue on your potion journey by filling out these last 2 nodes for a grand total of 305 knowledge points spent on being the absolute Giga Chad of potions. It's a very expensive route. It's going to take players a long time to do it. I suspect a couple of months for the average player. But by the time you can produce those at quality 3, you should be able to mass produce them and have a really good time selling them on the auction house. Hopefully make a bunch of gold. So that's alchemy option number 2. Let's move to the next build. So let's take a little bit of a look at the thaumaturgy build then. This is going to be the 3rd build I'm going to highlight for alchemy. And this is quite a fun one. This is one that is an absolute prime candidate, should I say, for your alt armies, mostly because it's based upon a daily charge system, transmutation system from past expansions. You press 1 button a day and you want to try and make as much gold from that 1 button press as you can. Then you log out and you do it again the next day. So how are we going to play with thaumaturgy then? Well, the spec tree is actually pretty simple for thaumaturgy. You want all of the nodes. You want to fill all of these out, but there is a little bit of an order in which you might want to do it. Predominantly at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the expansion, you're going to want to make sure you max this node out first, Gleaming Transmutagen. This is going to unlock your Blasphemite crafting button, which is probably where you're going to make most of your gold from with thaumaturgy in the early days. There's a bit of a ramp up in profitability with thaumaturgy. It takes a little bit of time before it actually is going to turn you a significant amount of profit. I suspect I'm working with guesstimated numbers here, but there's a bit of a ramp up process with it. So getting your Blasphemites first, getting the ability to craft those Blasphemites first is probably your highest priority. Then you want to fill out the thaumaturgy one. You want to backtrack here a little bit, fill this out. So you're looking at 75 points to begin with. Then you want to slowly and methodically fill these ones out. These are what your volatile, your mercurial, and your ominous materials. These are what is produced when you thaumaturgize materials, when you use the process in the first place. You take a random 20 random materials and you break them down. What this is in essence doing is creating a bunch of these for you. You do get some materials out the back of it as well, but your main focus is to be getting the ominous transmutagen and the volatile or the mercurial. And this is what then you can use on a daily basis for your cooldowns. If we take a little bit of a look down here, We got like mercurial herbs, for example. You take 2 of the transmutagen types, and this is your daily cooldown for the day. What we are going to want to do, you can see, even once you've fully filled this tree, is you're still not going to be super profitable with your daily cooldown. This is why blasphemite crafting is the highest focus for you at the beginning. What we want to do is we now want to get to at least where we can guarantee quality 2 on our daily cooldown. That means once we can guarantee quality 2, what we actually do is we use our concentration and we guarantee quality 3. This will ultimately lead you to the point where you can take quality 1 materials, feed them through thaumaturgy to get your intermediate transmutagens, and then on a daily basis you can turn a small amount of these into quality 3 materials. So that conversion from quality 1 to quality 3 is where the money is to be made, but it takes quite some time to get there. The way we are going to get this close to quality 2 guaranteed is you're going to get your tools in order, which I haven't because it's hard to do on the beta. But the last thing you're going to do is you're going to fill out the alchemical mastery node with a full 50 points. This is a really generic node for all of alchemist, or all alchemy specs, and it's very worthwhile putting some points in. Once you have, you can take a little bit of a look back at your transmutagens again. And if I had my tools in order, you would see we'd be in the quality 2 scenario. I haven't got my tools in order for the purpose of the beta, but you know, once the game goes live, you can get your tools, you'll guarantee quality 2, and you'll use your concentration every day to make quality 3. That, in a nutshell, fill out your thaumaturgy tree. I think the total points is 130 in total, but the first 75 are quite important in the early days. Then you fill out the rest of this tree in its entirety to 180 points, and then you supplement it at the end with a final 50 points, and that's when you should start making some serious money with thaumaturgy. So there we go. There was a little overview of the 3 potential routes you can go with alchemy. I personally think that the thaumaturgy fits best on the alt army approach, but it's got quite a long ramp up to the point to where it might actually be profitable to do the daily cooldowns. So you're going to have to kind of rely on making some money from the blasphemites at the beginning. But both flasks and potions are obviously going to be in high demand. So I think alchemy is looking to be a really strong profession overall. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Leave your comments down below in the comment section, or come jump over to the Discord. As I said at the beginning, if this video is popular with you, if you like this style, I can try and do some more for some of the other professions. But yeah, give the video a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all next time, boys and girls. Have a good one. Peace.